What's up, everyone? It's Aaron, and I'm going to be taking a look at NewAge's H35EX Cyclops. So, if you're following this channel, you probably already know this, but in case you didn't, NewAge is releasing this figure in 4 different color variations, and the one I picked up for now is the one they marketed as the toy coloration. It's a much richer, darker, metallic purple paint than the original version. And even though I normally go for the cartoon colorations as far as my collection goes, I'm a sucker for metallic paint, so had to go with this one for now. I believe Mauricio has the original version coming on the way, so he may review that one for the channel at some point. They're also releasing it in the old Radio Shack colors and also translucent version. As far as those versions go, I believe friend of the channel, Deluxe Baldwin, is going to be reviewing those, so go ahead over to his channel whenever he gets those in and check those out if you're interested. I'll leave a link to his channel in the details below. But as far as me starting to look at this guy in gun mode, it's a little easier for me to show you guys the light up feature. And from where he is just lathered in paint, some of his tabbing together parts are a little finicky to get untabbed once you've got him in robot mode. So I'm going to start out by showing him in this mode, and we'll go to robot mode. So, without any further ado, let's get into it. So, here's the box he comes in, and it's pretty much 100% your standard NewAge fare that we know and expect by now. He's head of military operations. We've got some G1 style art here. Product shots. I don't know what he's really doing here, but another product shot. More product shots. More artwork. Yada yada. You're also going to get your instructions, which tell you what type of battery you will need for his LED light. And as far as accessories go, this guy's a little light on them as far as NewAge goes. So the only other things you're going to get with him are this miniature version of himself that he can hold and shoot like he did in that one episode. And, well, I think he did it a few times. So, but yeah, it looks pretty good. It's done in the same purple plastic color as this base color is right here, and some silver on the barrel, so gray, whatever you want to call it, and he holds that just fine. The only other thing you're going to get is a salute, whatever hand, whatever you want to call this. How was I in focus and then out? Anyway, it's done pretty well. It's in some got some purple paint on it as well. Matches the hand that he comes equipped with, which is a holding hand, and that's it. I know the Magic Square one comes with a ton of hands, but I would have liked to have had maybe one or two more for his one hand, but I mean, Shockwave never had two hands in the cartoon or the comics, the old comics, as far as I remember. And the only time I remember him having two hands is when we're talking about IDW Comics Shockwave pre-Impurata, but that's an entirely different story. So, but yeah, that's all he comes with. So let's start taking a look at what you get with him here in this. So I guess because I have a potato for a brain, I completely neglected to tell you guys that obviously, even though you saw it, he comes with a stand too. So he comes with this piece that you can use for him in robot mode, and you can just plug this adapter into a little port underneath his backpack, and then this just sits obviously in the base fine as far as that goes. As far as the base itself goes, it's pretty nice. Looks pretty cool. So, I dig it for sure. Not really sure what the point of all these little bubbles are, but pretty cool. Now, here's the other adapter piece. And that fits in there as well. And how you apply that is you just need to untab his outer part of his feet that form the handle of the gun here. And you can see right here where this is going to slide right there. And then just tab it back together. And then port that in, and that works, and you can rotate it however you like as far as that goes. So definitely a cool accessory to have as far as that goes. So now we're done with accessories. Now let's take a look at the light up. Now, as far as inserting the battery, what you will need, again, you will need a CR927 battery. I got this 5-pack on Amazon for like $3 or $4. Not a big deal. So, pop open right here the end of the barrel. And what the instructions are going to tell you to do is use a spudger if you've got that or something, and just push right here and use that to push the front of the barrel out. And then all you're going to need is a Phillips head screwdriver to loosen that up so you can take this LED assembly out, and then you can just stick the battery in there. It's totally straightforward at that point. So you get a couple of options here with the light as far as that goes. Let me put this back in there. That might be a good call, huh? So as you can see right here is your button, and you have the option of turning it on like so. And just always make sure to push on both of these to make sure it's snapping together all the way, because pushing one side doesn't really seem to do it. And there you go. That looks pretty cool. I'm definitely a fan of that, and I said that and it's still not even. There we go. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I am a fan of that. And then you can press the button again, and it will also give you this pulsating look like this. And I think it does it about 10 times before it automatically turns off. But that's pretty cool to have as well. And then if you press it again, it just turns off. So that's the light up features for him. So let's take a closer look at this ridiculous space gun laser. And it looks pretty much, I mean, it does the part as far as looking like Shockwave. Now, as far as the aesthetics of it, you know, I do agree with Deluxe and some other people. It's not very sightly. You know, he's pointing out these mushroom pegs here. They are a little bit of an eyesore. It's a strange looking mode for sure. It does feel incomplete, I will say. But as far as doing what it's supposed to do and the extra presentation with the stand, I think it's fine, personally. And it's not like I'm really keeping him like this on my shelf, because this mode does not scale with anything you're going to have. So, but, I mean, as far as this purple paint, though, it looks amazing on him, I think. Just absolutely beautiful as far as that goes. So, but that's really all there is to say about him in this mode, you know? Like I said, he pulls it off. He's got the rubber hose and stuff. He only comes with one, so I guess Magic Square beats him on that as far as that goes, but I don't really foresee myself wearing it out. I mean, Tom will do it eventually, I'm sure, but as far as me doing it, I don't see it being a problem. So, I guess I'll bring in a couple of size comparisons for what it's worth real quick before we get into road transformation. So, there's what you're looking at with my usual car suspects: Hasbro, NewAge, Magic Square, and Iron Factory. So, pretty, you know, it's pretty sizable for an alt mode for Legends. So, but you know, then again, it is just Shockwave stretched out into a gun. So, all right, so let's get him transformed. So, you know, you can start in a few different ways. I guess the last thing it tells you to do is the legs and the handle. So I'll just start here. So he's got a tab, like I said, up here at the front of his knees. And he's got one down here at the front, or at the bottom, I think. Yeah, right here on the inside. So you're going to untab both of those and rotate this up. Now you're going to untab this panel from his hip on both sides. And you can take this piece for his sight and rotate it up. And this piece, I think it rotates. We'll figure that out later. So then you're going to untab his legs right here. They have a tab right in the center there, which can be a little bit of an eyesore in robot mode, but I don't think it's too bad. So then you're going to hinge his legs closed like this. Well, before you do that, flip his toes out. Very important. So flip his toes out like so. Now you can hinge this in, and then you're just going to retab everything as far as that goes. Repeat the process on the other side. So there's his legs pretty much done. So now we'll go up here to his barrel here and untab this so we can free up his hands. And we can go ahead and just tab that back. Those arms are tabbed together as well, as you can see right up here. And then you're just going to rotate them down on their hinges like so, as far as that goes. Now you can start bringing this up, and if you want to, go ahead and fold these tiny little panels right here in on these hinges. And I don't know if it's like this on the other version, but from all the paint, they are super tight to get in there. So fold that in, and then you can go ahead and bring that down. And that's going to rotate his head up out of his chest cavity there. So now you need to do some more folding here. And as you can see, just fold this into his torso cavity like that. And I think that's great. So you're going to fold this hinge up like so. So you can fold this one down like that. All right. Then we're just going to bring, yep, and I did have that backwards. So make sure you've got it rotated with the sort of concave side going in here. And you can bring that up, fold those up, and then you've got tabs here on the sides here for those hip parts. And that just tabs it like that. I had his legs backwards. Did not need to rotate his waist. And there you go. There's Shockwave in his robot mode. And then like I said, other than the tabs being kind of tight, a pretty enjoyable transformation in my opinion. I have a lot of fun transforming him back and forth. So let me make sure he's good and cleaned up, and we'll take a closer look at him here. All right, so here's Shockwave in his robot mode, and maybe due to the pose I have him in now, we'll go ahead and get the elephant out of the room here with the one massive negative I have for this figure, and that is possibly the worst light piping I've ever seen on a figure. Now, I'm someone who absolutely loves light piping when it's done right, but when it's this bad, it's a big failure to me. So this is something I'm gonna have to cover up with paint at some point because it's just that bad. And unfortunately, the Magic Square one is only marginally better. So both companies decided to light pipe, and they both did a, poor to very poor job of it, in my opinion. And I've tried this under different conditions.
Come on, man. Help me out here. Work with me on this. Really? A little bit of light? Come on.
Help me, Apollo. Help me, Helios. Help me, Ra. Someone. Damn. So, yeah, there you have it. I'm not really sure what went so wrong with this light piping because it's a big translucent piece here. As I hit my camera, it's a big translucent piece, so I'm not sure why it doesn't pick up the light the way it does. And like I said, my Magic Squares is only slightly better, so unfortunately, a poor to a piss poor job of taking care of these Shockwave sides, in my opinion. So I'm gonna have to paint that up at some point. So, but that'll be okay. It'll look better than this for sure, and then he'll be fine because the rest of him is amazing. So now that I've got the one big negative I have out of the way, let's look at all the positives, which is basically everything else for me personally. The head sculpt is good. He's got paint on his ears too. I mean, there's not much to the head sculpt, right? It's a Cyclops, so but it looks good. 360 on the head, on the ball joints you just saw. He gets a little bit of up, not really any down, but I mean, what do you expect with a chest like that? And he does have some attitude here, so that works pretty good. Arms are on a ball joint and a hinge, so you saw you can get all the way up, all the way out. 360 with this one. His hand is painted, and you can rotate it from where it swaps out. And as it works just like any other New Age figure as far as the saluting hand goes. Same thing on this side, except you can't go 360. You're gonna mess up your hose. Uh, Elbows will past 90 degrees, and then no gun articulation. But do you need gun articulation? Is that a thing? I don't know. So to help make up for him not really being able to look down, you do get a forward ab crunch with him, and the waist rotation I accidentally showed earlier during transformation. His little hip skirts can move up as well to help with posing as far as that goes. I don't think, yeah, these ones on the back are just right there, but that's fine. They're not really getting in the way as far as not being articulated. Knees, right to 90 degrees. Toe tilt for that as far as that goes. Otherwise, nothing else. You do have this thigh cut as well. And he can kick all the way forward that far back. So that does prevent him from kicking all the way back. His little butt flaps, but not a huge deal to me. And then these do move to let him pretty much do the full Van Damme. Almost, anyway. But yeah, enough posability as far as that goes. And like I said, the paint, just I love this chest, especially with the translucent purple here on this. Just looks even better than the original, in my opinion. And like I said, I love how this backpack cleans up in general, not just the tucking away of the barrel. So I think he looks pretty good, in my opinion. Look, the light piping works better. That's the best I've seen the white piping work, guys. And that's like looking sideways through it. That's so weird. And that's just barely any light coming in through the window over there. That's weird. All right, let's do some size comparisons. Here he is with our boy Runabout for an Iron Factory comparison and some other New Age figures so you can see how he scales within his brand here. Here he is amongst some other Shockwaves. We've got Iron Factory, New Age's first, which is just a retool of their Jazz mold, Siege Shockwave from Hasbro, and Combined Wars Legend Scale Shockwave from Hasbro. And finally, here he is with some other Magic Square New Age figures that I'm using in my G1 Legends display. I don't know, just an idea for you as far as that goes if you've been battling in your head between these two companies as they seem to be battling every day themselves. And finally, I guess the last thing to cover is if you want to use his light up feature in robot mode, all you gotta do is just untab those on the side and pull this little assembly down, and you should be able to get to it right here. And then through the magic of editing, we've got his chest lit up just like that. So you guys don't have to watch me fumbling around with that. So, final thoughts on NewAge's H35EX Cyclops. I'm definitely a fan of this figure. He, the big negative aside of the failed light piping, I really don't have anything negative to say about him. I mean, yes, the alt mode is kind of it's not great. Let's be perfectly honest, because it's not. But I'm not displaying him in that mode. You probably aren't either. The fact that they make up for it with the cool stand and, in my opinion, the better light up feature in the Magic Squares, I think kind of makes up for some of that. So, but what do you guys think? Are you in for this guy? Are you in for Magic Square? Discuss it below if you like. And that's going to do it for the review. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good one. Till next time.